can get their offense in gear.
Well, Pat, I don't think there's any question. We would all agree that the key to that is Turner Gill. He has that great ability to run with the football. More important, I think, in terms of buying him time to throw it than actually taking off running with it. He had an excellent game last week, of course, against...
I heard them so loud in this Winnipeg Stadium where they were introducing the players, you can hardly hear yourself think. Maybe it's going to be that way throughout the game. So, Pat and Frank, I think you've got an interesting and I think a very exciting game to call.
It's funny, we were talking to General Manager Paul Robson. He was saying that he really finds the Winnipeg crowd is becoming like that of Saskatchewan, where they're right into the ball game and they actually become the 13th man on the field. Interesting to note, Riggs, that Montreal is going to kick off with the wind at their back. They'd like to be able to try and contain those Winnipeg Blue Bombers deep in their territory.
Well, Pat, I think Joe Gallant feels that he'd like to score early and get ahead of this football club if he can, so they will have a major wind advantage in this first 15 minutes.
So Mike McTagg kicks it away for Montreal, and he sends it deep. This will be Haley from his 2-yard line. And Haley came within an eyelash of just breaking that one. As he crossed the 25-yard line, it looked for a moment like he might be able to split the seam. But Montreal, with very good special team performances all season long, were able to down him at the 29-yard line. And so Tom Clements and the Winnipeg Blue Bomber offense comes out onto the field. Clements with a completion record of 58%. He's only thrown 11 touchdowns and had 13 interceptions as we take a look at the receiving corps. So it's first down. Blue Bombers just inside their 30-yard line, and this is Willard Reeves. Willard dances his way to the 33-yard line for a pickup of 5. He's dropped at that point. Montreal with Doug Scott, number 70, making the stop, line up this way. It's Sandy Armstrong, Brett Williams, and Doug Scott as you look at the offensive line. Those are the people that are going to have to block Armstrong, Williams, Scott, and Steve Rocky, number 99. They call him the designated pass rusher. This kid gets into that backfield in a hurry. He'll be coming on this play right now. Number 99. Clements' pass is complete. And Sean Keogh gives Winnipeg the first down of this ball game as he crosses the 40 to the 41-yard line.
Very key first down it was, too, Pat, working against this very difficult breeze here coming out of the south at Winnipeg Stadium. Willard Reeves, with that 5-yard gain, just moved into the lead as the rushing leader in the Canadian Football League. He was only 3 behind Jenkins, Keevan Jenkins of BC. As you take a look at that Montreal defense, the fewest touchdowns given up of any team in the Canadian Football League.
Cummings' pass is caught, and up over the 50 to the 51-yard line is Jerome Erdman, who used to live next door to Frank Rigney. Brett Williams, number 71, the nose guard, was there to bring him down. Erdman is really starting to come into his own. A good little inside receiver.
Interesting, too. He was playing on the other side of the football when these two teams met last time.
Makes a good cut to get inside of Vince Faison and pick up what is very close to first down yardage. They've got the ball spotted at the Winnipeg 52-yard line, and it is a first down as signaled by referee Lauren Woods. Now, this is exactly what Montreal didn't want. They didn't want to kick off to the Blue Bombers and have them march against the wind all the way down the field, but Tom Clements is putting together a very impressive drive.
Well, that's one advantage, Pat, as you know, of having 2 experienced quarterbacks, which Winnipeg, of course, does have. As you look at the linebacking core now, an excellent one for Montreal. Ken Shanconi, you mentioned, Pat, you fellas having his best year ever.
Boy, he has played well. Clements is dropped by Doug Scott. Scott was in the Winnipeg offensive backfield before Clements had a chance to set up. And as a result, Winnipeg is forced back to their 45-yard line, a loss of 7 yards.
Scott putting that pressure on from his left defensive end spot. He had 6.5 sacks coming into tonight's ball game, so 1 more for his total.
The Boise State grad, who is a native Montrealer and really has been one of the outstanding players to play in Canada at his position. Oh, there was movement all over. Clements again was sacked once again by Doug Scott, and I would think that it'll be a procedure penalty against Winnipeg because there was no question that Chris Balby pulled up and was on his way long before the ball was snapped, number 63.
Balby, the right tackle. I think Lyle Bauer also moved, Pat.
I think they all did.
I think obviously Scott will get his 2nd sack of this ball game. They will refuse the penalty.
Procedure. Winnipeg 59, Declined.
Bauer is
Third
the
down.
guilty party named by Lauren Woods in any event. So we'll see Bob Cameron come out for his first punting attempt. There's just 2 minutes and 45 seconds gone in this ball game. No score.
Montreal sends back 3 punt returners. They know the wind is going to be very tricky. So they've got Harry Skipper back with Phil Jones and Preston Young. Cameron is an amazing punter. He gets it away to Young at the 32. And Preston Young does a good job to get the ball over the 40 to the 43-yard line. And that's where Turner Gill and the Montreal offense is going to take over for their first possession of the game after a 41-yard boot into a very tough freeze by Bob Cameron and a 12-yard return by Preston Young.
Pat, by no means do I think Bob Cameron is the best kicker in the league, but he may be the best kicker against the wind. We'll see that all night long.
Well, there's the receiving corps for Montreal. Their problem has been not being able to get the ball to their outside receivers. And Turner Gill is sacked by number 55, Tony Norman, a fellow that Riggs mentioned off the top of the show as somebody Montreal had to keep out of that offensive backfield.
Pat, they did exactly what we talked about. They kept the containment to the outside, and then Tony Norman, number 55, beat big Miles Gurrell, the 285-pound left tackle. Watch Norman's quickness. Miles tries to go down on him. Norman just ignores him completely. And the first sack of the ball game now for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
And the loss was 13 yards, so it's 2nd and 23, Montreal at their 31.
Here they come.
You see, they'll do that all night to Turner Gill. They know that if you get into his face, there's no way that he can be as effective as he would like. That was Frank Robinson.
Pat, I'll tell you what they did. They just outmanned the Montreal Concord. They had too many people coming. Look at all of the blitzing linebackers and defensive backs coming there. Robinson comes from right here and has absolutely no one touches him. He's right on the young Montreal quarterback. Boom. A loss of 18 yards in the first 2 offensive plays for the Concord, and now they kick it away.
So Mike McTagg punts with the wind, and he gets a good one away. And the Blue Bombers are going to
Make everybody say that I'm a liar. The guy's going around with just a jacket on and pretending it's summer out here. Let me tell you, it's a lot cooler than Joe Galat looks going around like he's dressed up for a party.
Well, Joe knows this. It's not going to be a party tonight because these two defenses
He'll be
are
keeping
both
warm on his own.
Yeah. All right, here's the reverse to Jeff Boyd. Speed galore. Boyd has a first down. And he's into Montreal territory at the 52-yard line before Ali Witherspoon, number 52, in there replacing the injured John Pointer, makes the stop. But the pickup is 14 yards.
Pat, look at this formation. A quadruple set to the right-hand side, and Boyd goes back against the flow. For the first time I've seen that play used by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Boyd, of course, has a 105-yard pass reception from Tom Clements, the longest of the year. Got the great speed. You know, you look at this ball club statistically, Pat, and one of the things that really impresses you, Boyd has only had 34 receptions throughout the year, but vision by 4 points.
You know, this Winnipeg Blue Bomber squad has already showed how powerful their linebackers are. But Aaron Brown, one of the stars of the Grey Cup champion squad, who went down to try out in the NFL, wants to come back to the team, and the Bombers have told Aaron that if he wants to come back, fine, but he's on his own to see if he can make it. So strength added upon strength could be the case for the Bomber defense.
I think Delbert Fowler finds himself in the same situation, Bill, because if he comes back, that's fine, but he's got to make the ball club. And I'll tell you, they're playing so well right now, I don't know how anybody can be dislodged. However, the Blue Bombers have a first down thanks to Jeff Boyd at the Montreal 52-yard line. The give is to Willard Reeves, and Reeves was hit initially by number 42, Paul Gray, the inside linebacker, and he was able to contain him to a pickup of about 2. John Bonk, the veteran center, number 43, and Chris Walby. They do have a very experienced offensive line, Winnipeg. They average 7 years experience, and they're a good size. They average 6'4", 250 pounds. So let's watch Tom Clements on 2nd and 8 from the Montreal 50. Clements' pass over the middle is incomplete, intending it for Randy Faby, number 72. He couldn't hang on.
like the ball was thrown a bit behind him, Pat, but very catchable football. Winnipeg certainly would dearly love to have kept this drive alive, working against this very strong breeze. Maybe the ball was tipped just in front of the intended receiver, Faby. So Cameron will try to kick it away once again.
And Montreal again drops 3 men back. Cameron kicking into this very stiff breeze. This one hangs up. Preston Young on the run, takes it at the 19, and he's snowed under as he crosses the 20 to about the 21-yard line. So now it's going to be interesting to see what Montreal does to counter the tremendous pressure that Turner Gill faced in his first 2 offensive plays.
Well, I'm sure Joe has been talking to his offensive ball club. I think Turner's going to have to sprint out of there a little more, Pat. He can't hang back in the middle there because Winnipeg will blitz him to death if he does.
I almost think he might be wise as we take a look that tomorrow Ottawa plays in Calgary, and the people in Ottawa will see that game. So will those in Montreal. It's exactly what Riggs was talking about. He's got to make sure that those, when he gets the pressure from the outside, that he can take it off himself up the middle, which he did. And sometimes the quarterback draw, although that was not intended to be, is an effective play to counter that. He picks up 8 yards, so that's a very effective first down play for the Concordes. Ball is at the Montreal 30-yard line, 2nd and 2. They give it inside to Dwayne Wilson, and Wilson has the first down to the 35-yard line. That's the first down of the ball game for Montreal. Stan Mikowas, number 75, the nose guard, along with Tony Norman, 55, were there to bring him down. Bill?
Jeff Boyd is on the sidelines with an ice pack on the shoulder, and he's going to be gone, they tell us, at least for the half. They'll take him in at halftime, see how that shoulder is, and decide if he'll play the second half. So that has to hurt that Bomber offense.
No question about that.
Here they come with the blitz again.
And they throw the screen pass. And this is Alan Reed. But Reed is wrapped up. Wiley Turner, among others, along with Darrell Patterson, 76, there to bring him down after a pickup of about 4 yards.
Pat, that's pretty good defense when you're coming in with a full blitz and the perfect play is called against it, the screen, and you still limit the offensive team to 3 or 4 yards. I'm sure Joe is not pleased with that play.
No, but probably pleased that Turner Gill is still breathing.
Yes.
It's 2nd down and 7.
They come again, every time.
Nick Haraki makes the catch for a first down for the Concordes over their 45 to the 46-yard line.
Nice job that time by the offensive line of Montreal, who have done an excellent job all year long. They've only given up 14 sacks. Watch the job they do on Frank Robinson as he tries to stunt up the middle here. A very mobile linebacker, but picked up extremely well by Glenn Keeble, the offensive center. Results in a completion.
Dwayne Wilson, the ball carrier, and he just runs into a traffic jam as he gets to very close to the 50-yard line. Now, that'll be a pickup of 3 yards for Montreal. But this has been effective for the Concordes. First of all, they've put a couple of first downs back-to-back, and they've moved the ball out of their own territory.
Pat, they had their best offense last week in that victory over Saskatchewan. It was, I think, without question, their best offensive show.
2nd down, make it 6 yards to go, Concordes. Floats it up, and a penalty flag. Yeah, there's going to be an interference call against Ken Haley.
And I think rightly so. He pushed the intended receiver out of bounds right at the sideline, and it was a rather useless penalty. The ball was well overthrown. He had no chance of making the reception. And even if he had made it, it wouldn't have been a first down, Pat.
But it's going to be now.
Good break for the
penalty applied. The ball is considered uncatchable.
Well, there you go. Warren Wood has overruled the official, and that was exactly what was said. The ball would not have been caught in any event. That rule, of course, was instituted a couple of years ago in the Canadian Football League. If the ball is not catchable, the penalty does not exist. So Montreal will have to kick it away. We have 5:41 remaining in the first quarter.
So Roy Bennett, number 23, and Sean Keogh, 39, are back to return this punt. Glenn Steele, the fine little punt returner of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, picked up a back injury in Ottawa, so he's out of the lineup. Consequently, They have had to insert Bennett and Keogh in there. This is Keogh. Winnipeg, scoreless. The Blue Bombers and the Montreal Concordes, kind of the way we expected it would go. The two defenses really being dominant in the early part of this game.
If fans across the country are a little concerned about what the people here are wearing, it is Friday the 13th, but it's only September, but it's cold here.
You got that one right. The ball was fumbled, and the Blue Bombers appear to have gotten it back. There was when Tom Clements pulled away from the center, he never really did have control of the football. Unfortunately for him, Willard Reeves was able to corral it. So the loss will be about 3 yards.
Tommy's done a good job, Pat, this year as well of avoiding sacks. Montreal has been sacked the least of any team in the country, and Winnipeg's second least, so it's tough to get to these quarterbacks.
Clements is really going to miss Jeff Boyd, whom, as Bill Stevenson mentioned, is out for at least this half. Clements' pass is caught for a first down up around the 28-yard line.
Joe Poplowski, I believe, Pat.
Joe Pop made the catch, and he doesn't drop too many for sure. 17 yards the pickup.
What a great young fellow, too. You mentioned that yesterday, Pat. Not only a great football player, but a fine gentleman.
And so involved in community work, a lot of charities and everything else. And you like to see a guy like that do so well, and he has.
In the first half of '85, he's just moved into the top 10 of all-time pass receivers in this league.
Willard Reeves was pranked as he crossed the 30-yard line by Paul Gray, who's been very active at that inside linebacker spot tonight.
You know, Pat and Riggs, you hear so often people saying, who'd want to live in Winnipeg in the winter? Boy, it's got to be the coldest spot in the world, especially at Portage and Maine. Fellow just carried that ball. He's going to live here all year round. He's building his own home in Winnipeg, starting a bit of a business, bringing his daughter here, and he's going to live right here year round. He's become a very good Winnipeg citizen.
Hope he has it insulated. It's second down, 8 yards to go, Bombers. And the pass for Faby is caught at the 48-yard line. Randy Faby, number 72, is the son of former CFL punter Martin Faby, and he picks up 17 yards for the Big Blue.
Well, Pat, they came with that same formation. They tried the reverse one. We really can't see it in that picture, but you'll see Faby here. There are 3 receivers on the outside of him. They're just trying to flood that zone against the Concorde, and 2 people were wide open there. Faby, the intended receiver on the outside, makes a nice catch.
Clemens' pass is complete to James Hood, but Hood was wrapped up right away. Harry Skipper playing the corner on that side, along with Sandy Armstrong, were over quickly to snuff that play out. Actually, it'll go for a loss of about 3 yards. Incidentally, for those of you across the country who are wondering where Leif Pettersson is, Leif is enjoying the weekend off because next week he's going to be flying back and forth across the country because Frank Rigney is going to be inducted into yet another Hall of Fame, the Blue Bomber Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Riggs. But next week, Leif is going to be with us in Montreal on Friday, Edmonton Saturday, and Hamilton on Sunday, so he's getting some rest.
And I'd like to thank Leif for going through all of that.
Doug Scott with another sack on the Winnipeg quarterback, his 3rd of the first quarter, as he drops Clements inside the 40-yard line. How is Scott getting in there so...
He's just doing a great job. He's working against big Chris Walby, and he's breaking between he and Lyle Barra, the offensive right guard. Watch him, number 70. In fact, there's absolutely no truth to the rumor that I'm having 2 people flown in from Vancouver to help me carry my head back next weekend.
So on 3rd down and 16 yards to go, Bob Cameron is punting. Hangs it high, like I mentioned in the booth, but nevertheless, they're all here enjoying a pretty good football game, and one that is being contended by 2 teams that are very similar. They'll both play 60 minutes of football, and whatever the score is at the end of that time, one will be lucky and the other one won't. From the 38-yard line, Turner Gill is going deep. A pass intended for Chris Haynes, number 19, goes off his fingertips.
Roy Bennett back there, the left corner on the play. And if you're going to play for Cal Murphy in a defensive backfield position, you've got to know how to play man-to-man coverage, because he likes to bring those people on blitzes and leave you back there one-on-one. Bennett doing a good job on that play.
Chris Haynes, the intended receiver, is a graduate of the University of Notre Dame, played with the Los Angeles Express in the USFL. So it's 2nd and 10, Montreal from their 37 or 38-yard line. Gill's pass is caught by Nicaragua. And they will spot it at the first down marker. Pickup of 11 yards, first down, Montreal.
Araki, a big factor in the earlier meeting between these two ball clubs. Here's a good isolated shot of Araki going down a veteran receiver and knows where that first down marker is. He had 127 yards against the Bombers in the first game of the season.
Turner did a good job because he slipped just as he was getting ready to set up. Blue Bombers snuff out the running play by Dwayne Wilson right at the line of scrimmage.
It's not too early, gentlemen, to talk about the Shenley Awards because we're into the second half of the season, and there's no question in the East, Nicaragua is one name that has to be prominently mentioned. I don't think he's played a bad game this year.
He has played well, that's true. Boy, there are a lot of candidates for those awards. As Montreal comes up with a 2nd and 9 from their 51-yard line, and here come the Bombers. The flag is down. Wilson with the reception. He has the first down and is into Winnipeg territory at the 44-yard line. There is a penalty marker down, and it is against Montreal. That was a good read by Turner Gill to unload that pass.
It certainly was, Pat, and you know the screen and draw are the obvious plays against those blitzes because Winnipeg was coming once again, that time a safety blitz by Ken Haley, but also dumping that ball out to your backs to the outside.
Montreal 67.
Would be very, very
Second
effective.
down repeated.
Penalty was against Trevor Bowles, the right offensive tackle, number 67. So instead of a first down, Montreal has 2nd down, 14 yards to go at their 46-yard line in a scoreless ball game. Right over the middle to Wilson again. And Wilson does not get the first down. As a matter of fact, he'll come up about 9 yards short. Gary Moat, the inside linebacker, number 69, was there to drill him.
Watch the pressure by Ty Jones, number 35. Pat, I don't know if you picked this up, but the offensive back tries to hit him right there. Watch what happens. He put Wilson right back down on his back. A very effective.
Been tough tonight against the Montreal Concordes. Winnipeg to start this second quarter with the wind at their back from the 17-yard line. Clemens' pass is caught by Sean Keogh, and Keogh was wrapped up gang tackling by Montreal at about the 21. Aaron Hill was first in there, but he got a lot of help from people like Brett Williams and others. There's a look at our first quarter Chevrolet statistical story. Winnipeg moved the ball better than Montreal. They picked up 50 yards. 21 net yards from the Concordes, but boy, there were a lot of team losses in there, weren't there?
Pat, I'm sure that Winnipeg was very pleased to come away against that big breeze with a 0-0 score after 15 minutes.
They've got a 2nd and 4 right now. Clemens' pass is caught, and this is Sean Keogh again. Keogh gets the ball up to the 40-yard line. He'll give Winnipeg the first down, knocked out of bounds by the cornerback on that side, Andre Francis.
Keogh only had 15 receptions for the year coming into tonight's ball game, but obviously Tom feels that hitting those backs coming out of the backfield is a strategy they can use just as well as the Concorde. Winnipeg on the move now with their first possession in this second quarter.
With the wind at their back, and it's a considerable factor in this football game. This is Willard Reeves. Willard protected the ball well as he crossed the 40 to about the 43-yard line. He'll have a pickup of 4. Again, Paul Gray, the inside linebacker, number 42 from West Kentucky University, was there to make the stop.
Well, he's a very mobile young linebacker, isn't he? He gets all over the place.
We've mentioned him a lot so far this evening, and it's very important, of course, for him to play well in order that they can shut down that running game of the Blue Bombers with Willard Reeves. Tommy Clemens has completed 7 of 8 so far. He pulls this one down, and it goes right through Willard Reeves' hands. Hit him right in the hand.
Well, Pat, that's why they don't use Willard as a receiver very often. Only 11 receptions in the first 9 football games. He does not have the greatest hands in the world. Great runner of the football, obviously, but I think he should have caught that one. Just to be fair.
I think Cal would agree with you, too.
I think Tommy would, too.
So So again, Montreal employs 3 punt returners, one standing about 20 yards in front of the deep 2. Cameron really gets a hold of this by each club from 16 to 18, and you replied most definitely 94-6. Now, would you like to see the CFL schedule Monday night games? If you feel they should, there's the number to call. If you feel they shouldn't, dial the other one. Turner Gill gets it over the 30 to about the 32-yard line for a pickup of about 6 yards. That was run all the way. Turner Gill had no intention of putting that ball in the air.
Ty Jones, number 35, the linebacker on that side, had dropped back to his flat area there when Turner Gill came to the outside. He finally makes the stop, but not before the young quarterback has picked up almost 7 yards.
So from their 31-yard line, Montreal with a 2nd and 4 right now. Gill fires it complete to Mike McTagg, but because his feet went right out from underneath him, he does not manage the first down. They'll spot the ball inside the 35. And it'll bring up a 3rd and a full yard to go.
Well, this is not where the Concorde wanted themselves to be. McTagg, not a really strong leg, now going to have to kick against this breeze. Winnipeg should have their best field position of the evening to start a possession.
However, let's say this about Mike McTagg. He was one of their very big off-season acquisitions because he's played that inside receiver spot so well, and he has given them consistent punting. I agree with you. He doesn't have the strongest leg in the CFL, but he has been consistent.
Maybe had his strongest game last week against Saskatchewan of the season, too, Pat.
The Bombers appeared to be offside, and if they were, it will give Montreal a first down, but the Bombers are clapping, saying that it's against Montreal, a procedure penalty.
Well, I think if you brought that back, Glenn Keeble, the offensive center, picked that ball up off the ground and drew the Winnipeg Blue Bombers offside.
Procedure. Montreal 58. 3rd down repeated.
Good call, Frank. It was Glenn Keeble.
You didn't see it from that angle from the end zone, but he definitely moved that football.
And so now the ball is inside the Montreal 30-yard line, and it is 3rd and 6. Oh, and McTagg shanks this one off the side of his foot. They are going to mark it at the Montreal 45-yard line. That's a punt of only 15 yards.
Well, I didn't mean to be so prophetic in terms of field position, Pat.
The penalty marker down on the field of play.
Well, they're going to give him a no yards call, I believe, as well.
Well, the ball went out of bounds.
Maybe a roughing kick.
That's got to be.
Roughing, it must be, against Montreal.
Major foul, face mask. Montreal number 8. First down.
That's against Aaron Hill. That's a very major penalty against the Concordes because now the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have possession at the Montreal 30-yard line. First down in a scoreless ball game early in the 2nd quarter.
And this has brought this crowd up to life.
This is Willard Reeves. And Reeves, with some hard running, is inside the 25 and dropped at about the 23 by Paul Gray. Boy, it's nice to see Willard Reeves carrying the football. He gets up ahead of steam, and he's a tough man to bring down.
He just does get around that corner. An excellent effort by Sandy Armstrong, the right defensive end on that side, but Willard turns it up.
They should put an S on Paul Gray's sweater. I'll tell you, he looked like Superman. Dove through the air to bring down the talented Winnipeg running back. So it's 2nd down, about 3 yards to go. And again, this is Willard Reeves. And again, Paul Gray was in there. Now the question is, how far did Reeves get? He appears to have come up a yard short of the first down.
Take a look at young Paul Gray, number 42 there. He was fairly deep, actually, but came up to meet Willard Reeves right at the line of scrimmage. It would appear to be about a full yard short.
They're going to go for it.
And the close to 30,000 fans here at Winnipeg Stadium agree with that call by Coach Cal Murphy.
Vernon Paul, number 74, and Mike Robinson, 31, go in the short yardage situation for Winnipeg. They've got to get to the 20-yard line. They're at the 21 right now. And the give is to Willard Reeves, who will have the first down. He was definitely inside the 20. And the indication is given by referee Lauren Woods. First down, Blue Bombers.
You know, Pat, that can really instill a lot of spirit in your offensive ball club, too, when the coach has enough confidence in your offensive line that even though it was a full yard on third down and you need to put some points on the board while you've got that win, he says, go get it, and they did.
The ball at the Montreal 19. No score with 8:55 left to play in the first half. Joe Poplawski at the 1-yard line. He went high in the air. Vince Faison tried to knock the ball down. Poplawski went high in the air to grab it for an 18-yard pickup.
Boy, you just can't believe this grab until you see it again. Watch this, right at the 1-yard line, and Joe goes as high as he can to pick this football up. As Pat told you, right at the 1-yard line, the biggest offensive play of the game so far, by far.
First and touchdown to go, Blue Bombers. Willard Reeves, touchdown, Winnipeg. A short punt, a major penalty, a great catch by Joe Poplawski, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are in the end zone with the first score of this ball game.
Just an excellent lead block going through there by Sean Keyhole. From 1 yard out, Willard Reeves puts it in the end zone.
Trevor Kennard's catch and set it up for Willard Reeves' touchdown. Tommy Clemens has moved the ball much more effectively with the wind than did Turner Gill. Tom has been good on 8 of 10 passes for 91 yards as Trevor Kennard kicks it deep. And Faison allows the ball to roll into the end zone. He's hoping that it will go out, but it does not do so. Consequently, it'll be another point for Winnipeg, make it an 8-0 score for the Blue Bombers. Faison was hoping the ball would roll right through the end zone.
Is that a break?
You kick it 2 yards short of the dead ball line. Kind of a break for the Bombers. That could be a big point.
But I think Faison was very wise to leave it in there because now, moving against the wind, at least they'll bring it out to the 35.
Even Murph had a small smile for that one. 83 yards, not 85.
Now, the Concordes have to move the football because this is the time in the game where Winnipeg can really subdue you. Bill's pass is caught by Todd Brown, and Brown has it over the 40 to about the 41.5 for a pickup of close to 7 yards. David Shaw, number 36, the cornerback on that side, was there to provide the defensive coverage. Well, there's the wind. We were telling you that it definitely is a factor, and certainly from a Montreal point of view, the going is tough right here.
But I think it's much more of a factor in the kicking game than it is throwing the football. Both quarterbacks have been able to throw short to medium length in any event against it.
And Turner Gill has a pretty good arm anyway. He doesn't get an opportunity to use it because he's sacked one more time.
Gary
John
Moulton, I believe, that
Sturdivant
time.
and Gary Moulton, both.
Moulton is number 69, a young linebacker originally at SMU. Played with New Jersey and the LA Express in the USFL after San Francisco 49ers, and he gets his first sack of tonight's ball game.
I think Turner was wise in going down because Tony Norman was getting set to put him in his sights.
I think you got to credit the defensive backs there too, Pat. They just didn't have anybody open downfield.
Now the Bombers are trying to duplicate that feat here at the stadium in Winnipeg. Statistician Bobby Layden points out that with the wind, the punters are averaging 19 yards better than when they're kicking into the wind. And there's a look at an injured Montreal Concorde player, number
Lloyd
66.
Fairbanks, Pat. Yep. He's going off the field because he injured his shoulder, and the doctor's taking him into the dressing room.
Good hit by Vince Faison on James Hood. Hood, the wide receiver, they were trying to set up that flanker screen to him, and he only got, maybe a yard and a half at most.
Pat, you talked about the Concordes hoping to defeat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers here. It's been a long time since anybody's done that at Winnipeg Stadium. They're looking for their 13th straight win here in the Manitoba capital.
Some people have never seen them lose at home.
That's right. It's back to 1983.
Oh, it's wide open for Clemens. He fires it at the final moment, and it's complete to Jerome Erdman at the 50-yard line for a first down. Clemens is amazing. I thought he was over the line of scrimmage. He knew exactly where he was. Picked out Jerome Erdman, drilled it in for the first down.
Pat, you were right. 11-yard gain and one more step by the 11-year veteran, and he would have been across the line of scrimmage, but Tommy knew that. I guess that's why he gets paid for playing down there and we don't.
Well, and some of us never had, but others had.
I wasn't going to say that.
The pass is complete to Fabi. Just a little slant in, and he takes it into Montreal territory at about the 43-yard line for a pickup of 7 yards. Vince Faison made the tackle.
Well, they caught the Concorde in a little blitz of their own. Montreal has not blitzed Clements nearly as much as the Winnipeg defense has. Second down now, 3 yards, 5:50 remaining in this first half. Winnipeg leading 8-0.
Second down and 3 yards to go. Blue Bombers. They give inside to Pat Cantner, and Cantner has another Winnipeg first down. And this is the time of the ball game that the Blue Bombers can blow you away. They played it close to the vest in the first quarter. Now they've got their 8 points. They're looking for more. And if they get it, look out, because that's when they can run it up on you.
I really think, Pat, that they feel they have a big advantage in a win-blown game because of the kicking game. Cameron's so good kicking against that wind.
Pass goes to Willard Reeves, and Willard slipped down and may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but if he did, no further.
There was enough moisture prior to this ball game to make the field a little bit slippery, but that has not been a big factor so far.
I'll tell you what a difference a week makes. Last week, Willard was having trouble hanging onto the ball in Ottawa because it was so hot and muggy. Maybe the most humid day of the entire year, and the ball was just slipping away from him. He fumbled a couple of times. Today, he's got the ball, and it's cold, and as you point out, Riggs, he's slipping on the wet turf.
They fake the draw to Reeves, and then Clemens goes over the middle, and the catch is made by, you guessed it, Joe Poplawski. Another big play, another first down, as Phil Jones was forced to make the tackle from his safety spot. But Poplawski picks up 15 yards and a Winnipeg first down.
And Nick Volpe, our ISO director, has it for you as he just curls to the inside underneath that zone coverage. It seemed wide open for several seconds. Phil Jones, coming from that safety slot, finally makes a stop at the 22-yard line. So having a big night so far.
Cummings' pass is dropped by Sean Keogh. Well, Tommy would have been almost perfect tonight if everybody had hung on to the football.
Oh, both of his backs coming out of that backfield have dropped one right in their hands. Tommy says, what do I have to do?
Well, he's 12
for 15, and I know of 2 that have been dropped. I don't remember the other incompletion, Pat.
So it brings up a 2nd and 10, Blue Bombers, at the Montreal 22-yard line. Big play in this ball game coming right now. Clemens fires. Willard Reeves hangs on but does not have the first down as he's dropped at the 15-yard line by Ken Cianconi, number 75, and we will see Trevor Kennard in the field goal unit. So that's as good as Montreal could hope for in this situation, because the Bombers appeared as though they were getting ready to go in to score again, and might well have done so had Sean Keogh held on to the football.
He'll be able to kick this ball a mile. The wind is getting stronger than it was at the start. It's increasing quite a bit, as a matter of fact, and it's right at the back of Trevor.
Trevor, 108 points on the year, the leading scorer by
the first place British Columbia Lions. And they're expecting their biggest crowd in years in Montreal for that one. Turner Gill runs it to about the 40-yard line for a pickup of 5. Did a pretty smart play. He got the defensive defender to go up off his feet and then was able to slip by him to pick up a couple of yards in addition.
Winnipeg doing a good job downfield, though, Pat, in covering receivers. I was watching Nick Araki, particularly, who has been Turner's favorite receiver of late, and Winnipeg was all over him.
So make it 2nd down and 5, Montreal.
Winnipeg's going to come after you now.
Picked up pretty well. And Gill gets very close to the 45-yard line, which is the first down marker. Now, if they spot it on the 45, they're pulling it back to about the 44. They didn't give him much of a break on the spot.
No, he's going to be about 1.5 feet short, but this is what I thought Gill would do early in the ball game. Get outside so he does have the option of running with that football. A very unusual year in the Canadian Football League. This far through the season, 4 out of the top 10 rushers in the CFL are quarterbacks, and Turner Gill being one of those 4.
Mind you, the reason for that, Briggs, is nobody runs the football anymore. I mean, BC with Kevan Jenkins early in the year did, and Winnipeg with Willard Reeves, but, I mean, Ottawa, they forget it. They just don't run it. Gill keeps it himself, and the ball came loose, recovered by Montreal, but if they spot it there, they'll be short of the first down. They're ruling first down, Montreal. Now, the fans are upset because they felt the ball was fumbled and then recovered inside the 45, which is probably true, but I think they gave him his forward point and then ruled that he was stopped at that point.
The other thing that could happen in those circumstances, too, Pat, is you can fumble the football, the other team gain possession of it momentarily, and then you get it back. It's going to be a first down anyway.
Gill's pass is caught by Nick Araki. A fine fingertip catch, and Big Nick just hurdles over people inside the Winnipeg 50 to the 47-yard line. Number 79 will give you everything he's got on every play that he's in the ball game. Picks up 18 yards. Let's watch it.
Watch Ken Haley, number 24. He makes the defensive back gamble. He thinks he can knock this ball down, trying to stretch in front of the big 6'6" Araki. He does not do so, and a very important first down for Montreal.
With 1:59 left to play in the half. On the draw, Alan Reed. And Reed fights his way to about the 41 or 42-yard line. He did a good job to pick up anything. Darrell Patterson, 76, brought him down, but it appeared for a moment as though on that draw play, Alan Reed was going to be nailed in the backfield. Joe Galat, he's done everything you could ask of a football executive. He's put that club together along with Bob Geary, worked night and day, and finally they're reaping the rewards. 2nd down, 5 yards to go, Montreal. Here come the Bombers again, but it's picked up well. Pass was bobbled. It was intended for Dwayne Wilson. He had it momentarily, couldn't bring it down.
Pat, just an excellent job of protecting their quarterback, and Gill delivered that football. It was right there, another pass coming out of the backfield into the flat that should have been caught.
And what a big play that would have been for Montreal, because it would have kept the drive alive. As it is, they now send Mike McTagg into the ball game, and he'll be punting on 3rd and 5 from the 42-yard line.
He needs a big one here, Pat. He has not kicked the ball well against the wind.
He hangs this one high. Keogh makes the catch at the 15, and a flag comes down. We're going to have a no-yards penalty assessed against the Concordes, and Winnipeg is going to have possession out around their 30-yard line. Following tonight's game, the Carling O'Keefe Sports Game Stars will receive a Royal Canadian Mint 1-ounce gold coin presented by Kodak, makers of the new 8mm Codavision video systems featuring the portable all-in-one camera and recorder from Kodak.
No yards. Montreal 75. First down.
No yards penalty is assessed against Ken Cianconi. Winnipeg has possession at their 32-yard line with 1:23 left in the half. Bombers out in front, 11-0. Pass is complete to Faby, and Fabe takes off down the sidelines. There is a penalty marker on the play. He's all the way down to the Montreal 38-yard line. This one is going to come back. Illegal interference against the offense. Obviously a pick play, I would think.
Boy, a big gainer, over 40 yards for Faby, wiped out.
Hey, he showed me some speed. I didn't think
He
he
did
had that
for a
kind
big
of
guy, doesn't he? Winnipeg will scrimmage back at their 22. Let's hear the call.
Offensive forward pass interference. Winnipeg 29. First down repeated.
Jerome Erdman, a little pick as Pat had so adroitly pointed out to you.
How'd I get that one right?
I don't know. How'd you like the adroitly?
The adroit was good.
Erdman coming from that outside did pick up a defensive back from the Concordes. You see the number.
So on 1st and 20, Willard Reeves takes the pitch, and he gets out to the 37-yard line. Oh, that's a very good run by Willard Reeves before being brought down by Andre Francis, the cornerback, number 1.
Well, you see those big offensive linemen get around that corner, and you're going to have some room to run. Now it's just 2nd and 5 after 1st and 20 that Tom Clements was facing. 1:10 remains now in the first half.
Good run by Willard Reeves of 15 yards. Clements quickly inside to Faby. The ball comes loose, but they rule an incompleted pass. Vince Faison put a lick on him and forced Randy Faby to cough up the football.
Well, Vince, of course, a former Winnipeg Blue Bomber, the obvious leader of that defensive backfield for the Concorde, and you know that Faby's going to be looking for him next time they throw this little look in. Bam!
Vince Faison, the 10-year veteran, and certainly, as Frank has pointed out, the real solid force in that Montreal secondary, which has been outstanding this year. Cameron's punt doesn't turn over. Preston Young takes it at the 27-yard line, ducks under the first wave of tacklers, and then is dropped at about the 31. And so with 57 seconds left, Turner Gill and that Montreal offensive unit will come back onto the field. At halftime tonight, the CFL this week, the highlights of games that were played in the CFL in the past 7 days. And we'll take a look at Nick Bastaya, the fine offensive left guard of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Frank and I will be around with the first half highlights.
Bastaya picked Lineman of the Week last week in the Canadian Football League.
Hill sets up the screen. This is Alan Reed, and Reed slips down. As Frank mentioned, we did get some precipitation in Winnipeg this afternoon, so the field is a little bit slippery. Reed couldn't maintain his balance on that occasion.
Pat, you'll recall talking about this ball game before it started. We felt that the containment by those linebackers on either side were the real key defensively for Winnipeg, and Jones and Robinson have done an excellent job of it so far. They've been helped by some great pressure from the inside as well. They've sacked Turner Gill 3 times in the first half.
38 seconds left to play in the half. 2nd and 14, Montreal.
Here they come again.
Pass is caught by Nikaraki, and he's forced out of bounds at the 37-yard line. He'll be 4 yards short of the first down. So with 28 seconds left, Ken Haley, who made the tackle on the play, has forced Montreal to punt.
And Iraqi with 150 yards against Saskatchewan last week and 127 in the first game against the Bombers is the big offensive factor once again for the Concorde. 28 seconds remains now, and the Bombers will not have much time to try and add to their 11-0 lead.
4 catches for Nikaraki this evening for a total of 50 yards.
Winnipeg, of course, going to try to tie the BC Lions for first place, at least temporarily, in the Western Division of the CFL. However, I think we've got a...
Well, Cal is upset. First of all, he probably has called a timeout, but he wants to know why the clock is running when Nikaraki was hit and went out of bounds.
And went out of bounds. He's absolutely right. I think the officials are going to come over and talk to the official timekeeper now. 10 seconds had peeled off of the clock. It's showing only 18 seconds at the south end of Winnipeg Stadium here now.
The clock should not start until the snap of the ball. There should be 28 seconds left on the clock.
Well, Pat, as you know, there's 2 ways they can handle that. They'll either unofficially keep those 10 seconds and not start the clock for 10 seconds, or they might rewind it. As you can see, There you go. They rewound it. That's the answer to that one.
They got all the newfangled gadgets here in
How
Winnipeg
about
now.
that? Clocks and everything.
Yeah. Since you left town, you see.
That's right. That's more than a day and a half ago, though.
They've done a great job with this franchise. They promoted so well. Everybody is a football fan in Winnipeg. It's a real big factor here in this community. So the clock will start on the snap of the football. The tag hangs it high. This is Scott Flagel at his 44-yard line. And Flagel dives over the 45 to about the 48 with 20 seconds left to play. So that's time for Tommy Clemens to complete a couple of passes and set up a possible field goal by Trevor Kennard.
Kennard's had a 54-yarder already this year, Pat, and with this wind at his back, I'm sure they might try even a longer one if it comes down to the last play of the game, or last play of the half, I should say.
11-0. Blue Bombers out in front in the final few seconds of the first half. Clemens fires over the middle. It's complete to Sean Keogh. Keogh is in Montreal territory at the 53-yard line with 14 seconds left on the clock.
One more like that, and they're definitely in Trevor Kennard's range.
Second down, a couple of yards to go. Clemens' pass is caught by Sean Keogh for a first down at the Montreal 48 with 7 seconds left. Ken Cianconi rode him to the turf.
Well, timeout now called by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They've got to try and figure out whether they want to chance one more play with 7 seconds showing. Tom Clements going over to talk to Coach Cal Murphy about that very subject. Cal's going to tell him, look, if you want to run it quick, whatever else you do. There's your Western Division standings. As I mentioned, Winnipeg trying to move into at least a temporary tie with the league-leading BC Lions and spread a little room between themselves and the Edmonton Eskimos. Montreal could really open a gap if they could knock off the Bombers here. Yes, Bill.
I was going to say, Frank, that the excitement created this week was created by Joe Galat when he said that he thought Shaw, the defensive back for Winnipeg, played a soft corner. Shaw took a few shots at Galat. And one of the papers today said there was more excitement around Bombers' office than we've had in months because of what Galat said. It's nice to hear a coach finally saying something, but I noticed at the press conference when he was asked about it, he said, all I said was that Trevor Kennard was short and Cal Murphy was fat. I didn't say about their defense. But I'll tell you, he is a refreshing guy to have in this league.
They're not going to take a chance because with only 7 seconds left, if you complete the pass and the guy doesn't fall down, you're going to run out of time. So
he can hit it from here anyway.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He feels he can hit it from 80 yards with the wind. This will be a 55-yard field goal try. It's wide, and Phil Jones runs it out of there. And he goes down, and that will be the final play of the half. Is going to enjoy the advantage of having the wind at their back, and they will have the football to start play here in this third quarter.
Winnipeg had the choice, and they elected to kick it out.
A very alert play by the Concordes because Winnipeg was converging on that football. Fortunately, Dwayne Wilson was able to get there before anybody else, and so Montreal takes over at their 35-yard line. But, Riggs, if we're going to have a football game here tonight, Montreal's got to score some points in this third quarter because you know the Bombers are on the fourth.
I think you're absolutely right, Pat. And once again, the big factor, the advantage the Winnipeg Blue Bombers
begin with the ball at their 36-yard line to start play here in the second half. Winnipeg leads it 11-0. Hill's pass is complete. And that's Mike McTagg with the reception for a first down over the 46 to about the 47 before he was touched down by Ken Haley. Pickup of 12 yards on the first pass play of this third quarter. Turner Gill complete to Mike McTagg, and Jacques Chapdelaine, number 88, is in the ball game now, replacing the injured Todd Brown. Chapdelaine, formerly of the BC Lions. Pass is caught by Chapdelaine, and he's very close to another Montreal first down at the Winnipeg 53-yard line. He'll be short by about a yard.
You'll notice that Lloyd Fairbanks is back out on the offensive line. He has slightly bruised ribs. That's why he went and missed most of the second quarter, but they hope he's going to be able to finish this ball game.
Bill, maybe you could find out for us if Jeff Boyd is going to be back in this ball game, because I don't see him on the sidelines for Winnipeg. Alan Reed was upended the moment he got the ball on a fine play by Gary Moten, the inside linebacker, number 69. And that will deny Montreal the first down.
Moten sure showing his ability. Started off professionally with the San Francisco 49ers for a year and a half, and as we mentioned, with New Jersey and the LA Express in the USFL, a big defensive play for the Winnipeg Blue Bomber linebacker.
Because now Montreal will not take a gamble here. They're short by 2 full yards, so Coach Joe Galat sends Mike McTagg and the punting unit on the field.
I agree with that one, too. Kick it down there and make Winnipeg drive 100 yards or so against that breeze, or give up a single.
We have just begun play here in the third quarter.
Briggs, I just checked, and Jeff is going to come out and just see how it feels, and he may try to play, but I think it's very doubtful. They've left it up to him pretty well. And it's a shoulder problem. Very doubtful if he'll see any more action.
Well, we've got a time count violation against the Concordes. I don't understand this one, unless they were a man short.
They only had 11 people. They were counting it there, and they did not get all of their people out on the field. Tony Johns was
Time count violation.
late.
Montreal 14. Third down repeated.
Mike says, sure, blame it on the punter.
Sean Keogh and Ken Haley, 39 and 24, are back to receive this punt for the Blue Bombers. In Toronto to meet the Argos. Ticats just 2 points back from Toronto in the battle for the third and final playoff spot, and Edmonton will be at Taylor Field in Regina for a big game against the Rough Riders. Edmonton currently 2 points in front of Saskatchewan for the final playoff spot in the Western Conference. As the Blue Bombers start at their 21-yard line with the first down. Willard Reeves on the draw. And Willard with a good run out to the 40-yard line. A pickup of 19 yards for Willard Reeves, the great running back from Northern Arizona.
Well, a great cut at the line of scrimmage, Pat, as Willard now has picked up 57 yards on the ground in this ball game, and that is extremely critical going against this breeze. Keep possession of the football.
Clemens' pass is caught by Reeves. Ken Chantoni finally rides him down, but it's another Winnipeg first down out to their 52-yard line.
Pat, we've got an injured Winnipeg Blue Bomber on the play. As you take a look at it once again, Tommy dropping back and looking to his left all the way to throw that football. You know, Pat, you talked about the big game.
General manager as well.
Pat, our Western crew had the opportunity to do the Montreal Concorde against Saskatchewan in Regina. Those are two of the most up coaches I've ever seen in my life. Of course, Joe Galat here again tonight.
First down, Blue Bombers at their 53-yard line. They lead it 11-0. Clemens sets up the screen, and Sean Keogh is upended immediately. Aaron Hill sliced him down after a pickup of maybe a yard or two. But, you know, Tommy looks like vintage Clemens tonight. He's confident. You know, his play selection is excellent. He's throwing the ball with authority.
As you said at halftime, if everybody that caught balls thrown right to them, he might be 100% tonight.
Blue Jays from Toronto leading the Yankees 3-2 in the 6th inning. Very critical series for them. Clemens' pass is caught by James Hood. He caught it in front of Harry Skipper down at the Montreal 36-yard line.
Boy, what a great throw by Tommy Clements. An 18-yard gain when it was 2nd and 8. And Tommy put it right on the money as James Hood goes up high and gets the completion down to the 37-yard line of the Montreal Concorde.
Got another injured player on the field. It's Sandy Armstrong, their right defensive end, number 81.
About their own 20-25-yard line. They've moved it into scoring territory. 18 of 22 now for Tom Clements. What a great night.
played 4 minutes of this third quarter. The handoff goes to Willard Reeves. He was able to slide out of the grasp of number 71, Brett Williams, and managed to pick up a couple of yards when it looked like he might lose a couple. And Jeff Boyd comes back out onto the field, and that's good news for Winnipeg. As Randy Faby leaves the field of play, he caught a couple for the Blue Bombers tonight, but Jeff Boyd is back. And he's a guy that can break open any football game.
They got a triple left formation on the far side of the field now. Tommy rolls that way.
Andre Francis is providing the coverage on Jeff Boyd. Fans are not too delighted at the result of that play, but I thought Francis played him perfect.
Excellent defense. Used his body totally legally to keep Boyd away from that football. Tommy just a quick roll to left, and he's trying to hit Boyd deep. Trevor Kennard now will attempt a field goal from just about 40 yards out against this breeze, and the little guy's got a strong leg.
Well, if he can put her through there from 40 yards, you know that for a fact. Now Cameron, the holder, puts it down just inside the 40. It just hit the crossbar and bounced right out. So no scoring on the play. Montreal takes over at their 25-yard line. Flag is down. Turner Gill floats it up for Dwayne Wilson. He made a sensational catch at the 45.
Oh, they're going to give it to him.
But I think it's coming back for holding, and it is against Montreal.
Cal Murphy thought the ball was caught out of bounds by Wilson, who made a great catch after the ball being tipped. You'll see for yourself. Now he's obviously in bounds. Matters not, as Pat has pointed out.
Holding. Montreal 58. First down repeated.
58 is the offensive center, Glenn Keeble. So instead of having a first down up around the 45-yard line, Montreal has possession at their 15. It is first and 20. And don't get careless here because the Bombers will pick it up and run it in. The draw for Wilson goes absolutely nowhere because of Ty Jones. Number 35, Tyrone Jones from Southern University, has been all over the field once again tonight, and he makes the big play.
You know what he does really, really well? If you stop it right there, he comes in under control. He does not go blowing in there, Pat, and go right past the ball carrier, which would have been very easy for him to do. He is extremely quick. He does rush the passer very hard, but he came in under excellent control. Fine play.
Montreal back to their 6-yard line now. They've got to get to the 35 for a first down. Second and 29, and Gill got caught up in the traffic. They wanted to run that quarterback draw, yeah.
Well, Montreal's really got to put it together soon because Winnipeg is stuffing them defensively. Winnipeg's on a 5-game winning streak right now, and they've averaged only giving up about 10 points a game in that 5-game winning streak, and Montreal has not yet got a single.
And you know, when the critics were saying to Cal Murphy, I mean, your club doesn't look like defending Grey Cup champions, he said, listen, during the course of a season, you want to build, keep getting better, and that's exactly what the Bombers have done this year. Ooh, very close to being blocked, but a good punt by McTagg. Haley at midfield. And he really turns on the Jets in a hurry and crosses inside the 45 to about the 40 Montreal areas only. Willard Reeves, and he dances his way inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. Winnipeg's so smart, though. I mean, they're controlling the football against the wind.
Taking their time. I'll be slipping over to Calgary early tomorrow morning to do that ball game with Al McCann and Dale Isaac, Fred Fleming. Looking forward to it, guys.
Tell the fellas we were asking for them, and we'll look forward to hearing them do their usual first-class job. Willard Reeves. But this time he doesn't get a chance to dance too well because Brett Williams stepped on his toes. The ball came loose. Montreal claimed that
he hit that one kind of high.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing. They're going to hope that it bounces in, but it does not. A flag comes down.
They're going to call no yards against Winnipeg, but Montreal will still be scrimmaging the football at about their own 12-yard line.
It was a pretty astute play by Harry Skipper. He saw that the Winnipeg special team was within that 5-yard area, 2 yards penalty. And so Montreal, with 7 minutes left to play in this third quarter, trailing by 11 points, start from just outside their 15-yard line. And this is Mark Stevens at quarterback. And Stevens dives his way very close to the 25-yard line, which will leave him about 1.5 yards short of the first down. Wiley Turner, number 28, came in to make the stop.
Frank Robinson, a linebacker on that side, dropped back, and Tony Norman, number 55, was not able to provide the containment. Watch as Norman gets caught to the inside. A couple of blockers picked him up there, and Jones got knocked down as well, allowing Stevens the outside leverage.
Coming into the ball game, Mark Stevens has completed 67% of his passes, 1 for a touchdown and 1 interception. He came into the Hamilton game that the Ticats won and threw a touchdown pass on his very first pass attempt of that game. Second down, 1.5 yards to go. They give it to Tony Johns, and Johns fights his way over the 26-yard line, and he should have the first down.
To point out with that stat, though, Pat, he's only thrown 15 footballs in 85, so not a lot of playing time so far. Montreal picks up their first down.
But this is something that Joe Galat has been willing to do more of late. In other words, when Turner Gill can't get the job done, he'll go to Mark Stevens because he really thinks Stevens is going to be an outstanding player in this league. It's first down. Concordes, the ball outside their 26-yard line. They rule no catch. And Chris Haynes is not too happy about that, number 19, the intended receiver, but they ruled that he trapped it.
Haynes originally from Notre Dame, and
boy, I'll tell you, he's a pretty good actor, too. He acted as though he had caught it.
Bill, I don't know if you read this about Haynes, but he caught the winning touchdown pass in the Cotton Bowl his last game in college from none other than Joe Montana.
Not a bad combination.
And the guy who preceded Joe Montana at Notre Dame is Tom Clements, who's here on the field tonight in Winnipeg. Stevens' pass was caught by Mike McCagg, but he was rocked by Ken Haley the moment the ball got there, and he only picks up about 3 or 4 yards.
Well, I'll tell you what, this Haley wants to hit people. He's playing this game extremely aggressively. Watch him, 24. Remember the punt return, Pat? The last time he grabbed that football, he was going up there with full bore, boy. He's playing all out.
And he's going to get an opportunity to possibly return this punt because he's joined Sean Keogh back there as Mike McCagg on 3rd and 5 for the Concordes, with Winnipeg still leading at 11-0. Punt will be handled by Keogh at the 30-yard line. And he's wrapped up as he gets to about the 35, so that's where Tom Clements will go to work. Ken Cianconi was first down. A 49-yard boot, a 4-yard return. And want to remind everybody that Leif Pedersen will be with us next week. Leif enjoying the week off as we will be in Montreal. The first place British Columbia Lions to play the Concordes, and Montreal looking for their biggest crowd. And so they'll be well short and will have to kick the football away. But Mark Stevens was fortunate not to get sacked. And then Reed's good running at least gives them a little better field position to kick it.
Stevens must wonder what's going on. All he's trying to do is hit a little swing pass to the outside, and he gets drilled before he can get that one out.
And it doesn't get any easier for Montreal because next week they will be at home to the British Columbia Lions. You Montreal fans, go out and watch the Lions because they're a very fine football club to watch. Not a bad punt by McTagg. Scott Flagel takes it at his own 53. And on the run, he takes it into Montreal territory at about the 49-yard line. There's a kid I really like, Scott Flagel. I think he's a real solid defensive performer. And again, he's got good size, plays his safety position well. And here tonight, he's not a punt returner, but they put him in there, and he does a pretty good job. Would you like the CFL to schedule Monday night games? There are the numbers. Tom Clements has gone all the way at quarterback and had a fine night. The give is to the first man first, Sean Keogh. And Keogh has a big first down to the Montreal 36 before Ken Cianconi brings him down. Pickup of 13 yards by Sean Keogh.
Keogh wants to do a few good things for Cal Murphy right now. He was in Murph's bad books for a few moments earlier this evening.
The draw to Willard Reeves. And Reeves slices his way inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line before Vince Faison brings him down after a pickup of about 8. And so they send the short yardage unit onto the field once again. That means that Vernon Paul, number 74, and Mike Robinson come in. Joe Poplawski and Jerome Erdman come out. Second down, a couple of yards to go for the first down. Give us to Willard Reeves, nowhere to go because he was met the moment he got the ball from Brett Williams, number 71.
Well, fans here at Winnipeg Stadium want the Bombers to go for it, but Trevor Kennard is coming on the field, which obviously makes sense when you're leading 20-0. 23-0 is significant.
Now, it's tough to get the ball to your outside receivers when you're subjected to the kind of pressure that Winnipeg has put on Montreal here this evening, but that is a deficiency in Montreal's offense. They just don't get the ball outside.
No question about that, Pat.
Kennard's 35-yard field goal try is wide and will go for a single point. So make it a 21-0 ball game in favor of the Blue Bombers. So from the 35-yard line, Mark Stevens rolls out of there. But again, gets caught up in all the traffic. And again, it's Ty Jones.
But you know that the real pressure there was put on by Frank Robinson, number 37. Started up right now, and you'll see Robinson coming in there, number 37. Stop it there. Watch Robinson coming in the opening here. He actually hits the young quarterback's hand and slows him down just enough to get help from the backside. Boy, he's got people coming at him from everywhere, doesn't he?
And then, of course, he's got his own offensive lineman, Jerry Dobrovolny, who couldn't get out of the way, and consequently the traffic was so severe, Stevens is
Look out.
They're coming on every play now. Tony another sack.
I'll tell you, Winnipeg's best offense right now is when Montreal's got the ball. That series lost them 18 yards. It's 3rd and 28 or 27. And Winnipeg fans are showing their appreciation of the great defensive effort by the Bombers here tonight.
Let's face it, those guys have to love playing defense when the other team is down 21-0, have to throw the football.
No
they just
question.
crank it up. And 21 out of 33, 257 yards and 1 touchdown pass. And John Huffnagel, the former Penn State All-American, comes in to run the offense, starts at the Montreal 39. Handoff to Willard Reeves, and he's dropped after a pickup of a couple. Steve Rocky sliced in. from his defensive end spot and made the stop.
You know, Pat, Tom had pretty well the same kind of game against the Concordes early in the season. He threw for 295 yards, but the difference was that Turner Gill had a big day offensively. In the Montreal contest in the Big O, not so tonight.
So Tommy ups his record to 12 touchdown passes and 13 interceptions. Hofnagel's pass is caught by Joe Poplawski, and he fights his way but will still be short of the first down. The Bombers, though, are still giving it everything they've got. James Hood threw a block, and the Concord players took exception to it, but I mean, Hoods is just doing his job. But what a meeting it's going to be, though, when the Bombers play the Lions in those back-to-back games.
Well, the first one, of course, emanating from here at Winnipeg Stadium will come to you across the country on CTV.
I'll tell you, we'll be glued to our sets for that one, Frank.
Trevor Kennard is going to try a 39.5-yard field goal attempt. And it is good. So with a minute and 55 seconds left to play in the ball game, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are out in front 24-0.
Well, I know everybody is waiting to hear word on John Bonk, who was injured earlier in this game and taken to hospital for x-rays. There has been no report thus far. Some of the players are surmising. They say, well, it could be a pinched nerve or something like that, which is not that serious. And, of course, that's what we're hoping for. But still, no word has been received by the Winnipeg club.
Well, as the Concord come up over the football, they start at their 35-yard line. The pass is caught for a gain of about 3 yards by Jacques Chapdelaine, his second reception of the night. Following tonight's game, the Carling O'Keefe Sports Game Stars will receive a Royal Canadian Mint 1-ounce gold coin presented by Tilley, Canadian manufacturers of fine leather goods. At Tilley, they bring together quality and creativity in all of their products, for their line of personal leather goods right through to their travel wear. Second down, 7 yards to go. The ball at the Montreal 38-yard line. Stevens' pass is very nearly picked off. It was deflected by Ken Haley right into the hands of Gary Moten, but he wasn't able to squeeze it. Boy, these are some interesting statistics that Bobby Layden has just handed me. Total offense net, Montreal 85 yards. They were sacked 8 times. Winnipeg total offense 353 yards. We need say nothing more.
Only 24-0. That is what it should be, really.
And Mike McTagg is going to run and see if he can get the first down. Doesn't look like he picked it up. He only got to the 41. He had to get to the 45. Last score we had in the Toronto Blue Jay New York Yankee game was 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th for the Blue Jays.
And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will move to an 8-2 record now with their 6th consecutive victory.
And they are beginning to look awesome.
Well, it's better to peak in November, isn't it?
Yes. Maybe they haven't peaked yet. This is Pat Kantner, the ball carrier. And Pat is inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line. He'll be a couple of yards short of the first down. And that brings the clock to a minute 15 and counting. Joe Poplawski comes out of the ball game. Jerome Erdman is in.
I don't think you'll see him put it in the air, Pat. I think they're just going to try and kill that clock off the last minute here.
Look good. It's a 24-0 score. The Blue Bombers lead it, and they'll move into a tie with the BC Lions, temporarily at least, as Willard Reeves picks up yet another first down for the Blue Bombers inside the 30 to the 28.
Pat, if you can, lean over to our statistician, Bobby Layden, and see where Willard Reeves sits. I don't think he's got 100 yards, but he's very close. 95 unofficially, so he now leads that rushing derby, at least for the moment. Kevan Jenkins will get his shot to tie it up in his 10th football game. Or go ahead.
or whatever. 28-yard line is the line of scrimmage with 41 seconds left. They give to the first back, and that's Pat Cantner. And Cantner is wrapped up as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Vince Faison was in there. So too was Doug Scott. And now Sean Keogh comes onto the field, and Willard Reeves will leave. And I'm thinking that he's going to get a pretty big ovation. He does. Not his biggest game of his career, but Willard gives you that real ball-carrying threat that many of us think you have to have to be a great team in the CFL. Pat Cantner bulldogs his way inside the 25 to about the 23. And we should have the final play of the ball game upcoming.
Well, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have avenged their 34-18 defeat in the first game of the season against the Concordes.
Montreal played very well defensively, but unfortunately their offense just could not generate any offense. As John Hufnagel takes the pass from center, goes down on one knee, and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have a very impressive 24-0 victory. They led it. Well, really from the second quarter on, we had a scoreless first quarter, but Montreal never could do the things offensively they had hoped to do. And this Winnipeg defense was really the story of the ball game.
Pat, early in the ball game, too, I think the kicking game was rather significant because Matag just was not able to kick the ball at all against the wind. As you see the results of our polls, apparently almost 3/4 of the folks say we should do Monday Night Football. Certainly Friday Night Football on CTV has been very successful.
Mind you, I think there's some fans who would like to see football on any night of the week. Bill?
Cal Murphy is with me. Cal, the first thing I'd like to ask you is the people saw the length of time it took and John Bonk taken to the hospital. Have you heard anything about his condition?
No, we haven't heard anything yet. We're just waiting on the thing. They took him for x-rays and just see how he goes.
This was a big victory for you. You were playing the top club in the Eastern Conference, a team that had beaten you, as a matter of fact, in a surprise upset in the opener.
Well, they're a good football team, and I'll tell you what, it was a tough win tonight. I mean, really a tough win, and I just, you know, we played super on defense and moved the ball very well. Tom Clements had an outstanding football game and had command of the situation all the way, and we got some great kicking from Bob Cameron particularly.
Was this the best game for Clements, you think, this year?
I don't know. He played pretty well last week, too.
You know, so it seems that your offense was getting a little criticism earlier in the year. But each game you seem to be improving, just a little better each game.
Well, we've been moving the football. We didn't put as many points on the board maybe as we have in the past. We're 20-some points, a little bit different. But I'll tell you what, statistics-wise and everything else, we're about as on par as we could be from last year. And it's a tough league. I mean, you don't go out there and beat everybody up. I mean, it's just not going to happen that way. And you just thank God that you get 2 points.
Well, the situation, I would think, Cal, too, is that you like to just get a little better each game as you approach the playoffs.
Well, that's what you like, and you hope that you're going to hit it at the right time, because if you can get a little bit better each week and you hit it at the right time, then you're going to hit it at the playoffs, and you got a chance to go then.
Now, I know you tell your players don't look ahead, but you are now tied for first place with the BC Lions, and boy, have you got 2 big ones coming up back-to-back.